Your heart just stopped, not in a hospital, not surrounded by doctors, just stopped, one beat, and then the next one never comes. And in that moment something begins that most people never think about, not the death. What comes after it, second by second, system by system, a biological countdown that your body runs completely on its own, with zero input from you. Here's what actually happens. 0 seconds, blood pressure drops to 0 instantly. Your heart was the pump keeping everything moving, oxygen, nutrients, signals, and the moment it stops, delivery stops. Every cell in your body immediately begins running on whatever oxygen is left. And that reserve? It's smaller than you think, 10 to 15 seconds. Your brain is the greediest organ in your body. It's only 2% of your body weight, but consumes 20% of all your oxygen. The moment blood flow stops, it starts burning through its reserves at full speed. Within 10 to 15 seconds, electrical activity begins collapsing. The cerebral cortex, the part responsible for thought, awareness, personality, everything you'd call you, starts shutting down. Consciousness fades. You lose awareness of the world. From the outside, the body goes limp. But here's what no one talks about. Right at the edge of that shutdown, something strange happens. A 2022 study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience recorded the brain activity of an 87-year-old patient who unexpectedly died during a hospital procedure. It was the first time scientists had ever recorded a dying human brain in real time. What they found: in the 30 seconds after cardiac arrest, the brain didn't just go quiet, it surged. Gamma wave activity, the same brain waves associated with vivid dreaming, memory recall, and heightened consciousness, spiked dramatically. The dying brain wasn't shutting down passively. It was doing something active, something that looked on a brain scan almost like a life review, almost like the brain was rapidly replaying stored experiences in its final moments. Whether that corresponds to any subjective experience, whether there's anything it feels like from the inside, is one of the most genuinely open questions in all of neuroscience right now. 1 minute. Brain cells begin sustaining damage that cannot be reversed. This is the line, the 1 minute mark that separates clinical death from biological death. Clinical death is when the heart stops. Biological death is when the cells themselves cross a point of no return. 1 minute is roughly where that transition begins in the brain. Other organs have longer windows. The heart cells themselves can survive for around 4 to 6 hours. Skin cells can remain viable for up to 24 hours. But the brain, the organ that makes you who you are, starts crossing that threshold at 60 seconds. This is why CPR matters so desperately. Every compression buys time. Every breath pushed into someone's lungs is pushing oxygen toward a brain on a countdown. And it's why the 4 to 6 minute window is treated with such urgency, because after 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen, brain damage becomes severe and increasingly irreversible. But here's the thing that should genuinely unsettle you. A landmark study from NYU Langone found that brain cells taken from cadavers several hours after death were still capable of growth and differentiation in a laboratory setting. Hours after death. The cells weren't doing anything useful. They were cut off from everything that would allow them to function as a brain, but they weren't dead either. Not fully. Not yet. And in 2023, researchers at Yale managed to restore cellular activity in the brains and organs of pigs that had been dead for 1 hour, using an artificial blood substitute pumped through the circulatory system. Not consciousness, not full organ function, but cellular activity, metabolism, some electrical signaling. In animals that had been clinically dead for 60 minutes, the researchers were careful to say this does not mean death is reversible, but it does mean the line between alive and dead is far blurrier, far more gradual, and far more biologically complicated than the moment we've always treated it as. Death isn't a switch, it's a process. A cascade, a slow unwinding that starts the instant the heart stops and continues at the cellular level for hours afterward. The moment we call death is really just the point where the cascade becomes irreversible. Not the point where everything stops, just the point where we can no longer stop it from stopping. Your heart just stopped. And somewhere in the 60 seconds that follow, your brain, the thing that made you you, is running one final, furious burst of activity. We don't know what it's doing. We don't know what it feels like. We just know it's there, on the scan, unmistakably real. 60 seconds. That's the window. Whatever happens inside it, science is still trying to look.